Yo, what's good? I appreciate everybody for tuning in. This is going to be a real quick live that we're going to get through, but we're going to talk a little bit about bingo. More importantly, we're going to talk about how bingo can become illegal and essentially how grandma or grandpa or mima or pee or papa or grancy could potentially end up with tax issues because of a bingo prize. As always, hey, I'm Marcus, the Debt Free Dad, finance and attorney reactions, licensed attorney, not your attorney, not legal or financial advice. This is just, infotainment purposes as I give my opinions on takes and topics. And hold on, I want to look up something. I probably should have had this ready. Y'all can tell this is really an impromptu live as I just jumped on here. But I want to give a shout out to the content creator Messy Michonne Live. Y'all need to check her out. I actually found her through I was on social media and I found like a Facebook page group that was like just focused on Tiffany Henyard and the absolute shit show that they have going on in the village of Dalton in the Thornton Township. And they had a link to this story on YouTube. So we're going to talk about it. First, let's go ahead and start off by saying that most times when people make bad decisions to do something illegal, it's founded on a fundamental baseline, a foundation of stupidity. However, there are some individuals, not most, I would say a small percentage, maybe 20%, who actually put a little bit of thought into how they're going to finesse the system, how they're going to scam the system. And sometimes criminal acts can be done or illegal acts can be done for personal gain. And personal gain doesn't have to always be in the form of compensation. It could be, I'm going to do something and skirt the law so that I can entice a particular group of individuals to like me and potentially vote for me. And that's what it appears to be going on here. Shout out to everybody in the chat who commented. Bridges. Uh-oh, no weapon formed against me. Oh, that's a dope name. I like that name. Justin, what's going on? And so we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about this news article, but I wanted to give some props to how I found the story and direct you over there to that channel. Messy Michonne Live is the channel that the Facebook group about terrible ass Tiffany Henyard directed me to. Let's go and start out with a video. This is an older video, but we're going to show how when you're doing something wrong and you brag about it, thinking you're giving yourself props, you're really burying yourself with actual evidence of your wrongdoing. And I'm gonna be honest, one of the things that I have given Tiffany Henyard a little bit of credit on is very few and far between, but I have given her credit that hey, she's using her social events to target the attention of the population who is more likely to vote than anyone, seniors. So let's go ahead and cue up this video so we can know what was going on historically with bingo. And I want y'all to pay attention to the type of prizes that were given away in the big bingo giveaway.
And then I also love my sales team. Her team is awesome. They work with everybody that come in. They make sure everybody have an ID, so you guys know about everything that's coming up. They also really do communications. They send you guys emails, text blasts, robocalls, things of that nature, just so you guys can stay abreast of what's going on, including the big bingo. I can't stress big bingo enough, man. Everybody be down here. There's over 500 people that come down here and be a part of that movie. People win air fryers, carrots, they want TVs, refrigerators, stoves, what else they need? Washer, dryer, yeah, you name it, it was down there. So any necessity that you needed, it was here on Big Bingo. Big Bingo happens once a month, every third Thursday, right? Third Thursday of the month. So if you haven't signed up, sign up. I said it's free. And all the things that we speak to you about is free. You don't have to pay anything.
Okay, so some of the things I want y'all to pay attention to there is she said it's free, you don't have to pay anything. Now, I would question the authenticity of that statement, the veracity of that statement, because I'm sure a lot of those prizes are taxpayer money. But what I want y'all to focus on is the prizes. A Keurig machine, I bought one of those, and I mean, if you got a cheap 1 cup Keurig, you're probably talking maybe 50 to 60 bucks. 35 maybe if you find a good deal. Washer dryers, expensive. I literally was looking at refrigerators today because I want one of them high speed ones with the tablet on the front. So, because I just like technology, and you're talking 19 to $2,900 depending on the size. So these are some. Hey, Big Bingo has big prizes. Now let's take a pivot and see how Big Bingo is actually illegal. And it sounds like she just self snitched and told on herself, but we do have to have a caveat because we don't know if they are actually licensed to engage in bingo, but they don't need it. Let's go ahead. Let me pull up the statute. The statute is crazy too. Illinois General Assembly. The statute is. All right, we not looking at that one. We're gonna go to the article because that shit long as hell. I just got home from work. I just got home from work. I don't need to be reading all of that stuff. So we're gonna go. Let me pull up the article where I found to give them props. Illinois leaks. I don't know if you all have ever heard of that. Yeah, no prize can be over $1,000. Exactly. You hit the nail on the head. This is the worst part, though. That's not all. There's a little bit of exposure here for grandma and grandpa, too. We're going to talk about it. Hey, shout out to you. Let me go ahead and read this, and then we're going to talk about some of the exposure. Facebook user Joy Schreiber noticed that the Illinois Bingo License and Tax Act permits local governments to conduct bingo games subject to the restrictions of a $10 maximum prize value for each game without the need to obtain a license. Local governments are not eligible for a bingo license, but can conduct games subject to this restriction in the Act. Section 1.3 states the following: restrictions on licensing for the conducting of bingo is subject to the following restriction. Senior citizen organization and units of local government may conduct bingo without a license or fee subject to the following: the aggregate retail value of all prizes or merchandise awarded in any one game shall not exceed $10. It says Section 5 of the Act prescribe penalties for violation as a Class A misdemeanor under Illinois Criminal Code and could subject violations to fines up to $5,000. Then it says, we're not even going to talk. Well, I'll go ahead and read it. It says, in an earlier article that was published, Thornton Township Tiffany Henyard noted that she was spending on its monthly bingo games, which included more than $40,000 given away at bingo events, around 50 Roku and Vizio TVs ranging between 50, 55, and 65 inches, clearly more than the $10 limit, and gift cards. So even the biggest thing that she notes is her claim to fame. Her claim to fame is her social events for the community. Even those aren't done right. Now, we're not even talking about who's paying for the prizes, okay? Because I think we all can take a guess of where that may actually lead, but not looking at who's paying for the prizes, just how the events are being done do not even comply with local laws and regulations. And I'll be honest, I think everybody probably should have saw this coming. So, like Justin said, shout out to you, Justin. The $50,000 penalty is awarded each time the offense occurs. So this is not in the aggregate. For every bingo game, every prize that's won, every bingo game, every prize that's won, you're talking about a potential $50,000 penalty. And one of the persons in the Facebook group posed a question, well, who did that penalty apply to? From my reading of the statute, and I think Justin, my bad, sorry, said this in the comments, it would apply to the township. The statute lays out the rules for the township to comply with. So if they don't comply, they could be looking at impose potentially those fines. If they do get those fines, who would have to pay those fines? I'm sure they'll probably find a way to make the township or the village or whoever is under the umbrella of Big Bingo Night on that given night have to pay it. Yeah. Yeah. Community Big Bingo is illegal. Due to that, it makes it not about the senior citizens anymore. That's correct. Now, this is actually the twist because, I didn't see this in the article, but now the question is, Grandma went to Big Bingo for Trustee Henyard, and Grandma like, yo, I love Trustee Henyard. y'all say what y'all want about her, but I run me a Keurig and a refrigerator. I'm set. That's $3,200 in total prizes that grandma won. Well, what is grandma's general exposure? I'm gonna just be honest. It's going to be no criminal exposure for grandma. The way that statute reads, it is directed towards the individuals conducting the bingo event. Two, even if it weren't, but it is, but even if it weren't, what prosecutor is going to be like, yeah, this old lady, like you would have to be a complete douchebag as a prosecutor to do that. Here's where the exposure to grandma, grandpa, peepee, meemaw, grand C, grand dot, whatever you want to call them, the exposure here is from a tax standpoint. Y'all remember back in the day, I don't know, I'm old, but back in the day, I don't know if you all have ever seen those articles or heard the stories where a person goes on The Price is Right and they spin the wheel and they win money, or they not necessarily money, but they win a car, money and car. It would all be treated equally, but they win a car. And then you would see an article come up where the persons couldn't keep the car because they couldn't pay the taxes on it. The federal government has a very, very, very broad definition of gross income. Any income from any means, from any source. So prize money, actual prizes such as cars, vacations, is considered gross income. What that means is you would have to pay taxes on it. So grandma who went down and won $3,200 worth of prizes at Big Bingo, the township is probably going to eat a fine, two fines, because each one is probably a prize from a separate game. So that would be two fines of potentially $5,000 for the township for grandma's TV and grandma's Keurig machine. But now grandma could potentially be on the hook for the taxes associated with those prizes because they would fall under the definition of gross income. And you see it all the time. I'm not a big gambler. Once I lose $20, I stop. But people who go to Vegas and actually win money, the casino has a reporting requirement to the IRS. And once they give that reporting requirement to the IRS, that triggers the reporting requirement that you have to make. If you don't make it, the IRS know who won because the casino actually reported it. But I thought that this was an interesting story and actually a sad story. Like this actually, I mean, all of the stories are sad and absolutely terrible because the victim in all of this stuff is innocent taxpayers who are just living their lives, paying their taxes, trying to do the right thing. Yep. Every gas card is over $10. Yep. And every time they have a prize that's over $10, they looking at a potential $5,000 fine, up to 5,000. That's absolutely crazy. But it's all sad. But this is really sad because this was the one thing. I don't know. I haven't been tracking this story for long, but this was the one thing that Tiffany Henyard has always stood on. She's like, yo, my community events are lit. I'm giving back to the people. I'm doing for the community. Now, again, who's funding these events, who's paying for these prizes, that's a whole separate story. But at least I think it was actually a little bit savvy to target the senior population who votes the most. But she didn't even do that right. And now she has herself on record essentially saying that, hey, we gave away these prizes that are far in excess of $10. Self-snitching is wild, but I'm going to be honest, I don't even think she knew it. I'm going to actually show y'all what the statute looked like on their website. And I do this, okay? I do this. I read statutes and laws for a living and write and argue and come up with creative ways to walk around the guidance of the law and the precedents set by courts. But I saw this statute and I said, I'm not reading this shit. And I know if I said I'm not reading it, I guarantee you nobody on her staff read it. One, I wasn't reading it because it was too long, but and my vision bad too. I was like, nah, bro. Look at this statute. Look how far down it goes. Like, yeah, this is why attorneys will always have gainful employment because even if she wanted to do this the right way, right? Even if she wanted to do this the right way, to really do it the right way, you would actually have to have somebody sit down and go through this entire statute and break it out and check off the do's and don'ts of what you can and can't do to make sure that it was legal and not a violation of the law. But I thought that this story was interesting and absolutely ridiculous. It's sad. Nobody's probably going to come after the seniors on the tax side of the game. I think that would be absolutely ridiculous. But it just goes to show the consistent pattern of I'm gonna do what I want to do, and I don't have a regard for what the law is. And it looks like she probably didn't even read the statute. Let's see. Community big bingo. Yeah. Oh, I already got that one. Let's see. I keep trying to play devil's advocate with this woman because I cannot wrap my mind around someone in her position exhibiting such blatant criminal behavior. Is there potential for laundering here? Mm, I don't see. Hmm. I don't see how one it would be crazy to try to launder something through bingo because the amount of money at issue is just too big. You would have to have like 50,000 damn bingo games. You probably have to do big bingo every night, even if you were going to use it as a mechanism to launder money. But I don't think this will be any effective way to launder money because there's to launder the money, you would have to convert stolen money or money obtained by ill-gotten illegal means to legitimate money, and you can't do that in prizes. It would just take too long. And we just looking at the numbers. I mean, she paid $30,000 for a 30-minute concert from a artist who probably hasn't had a real big record in 25 years. So, like, with the amount of money at issue, it wouldn't be a good way to launder money. Normally, people go through businesses or community organizations, and I think it looks like she tried to do the community organization, but it wasn't founded correctly. It didn't have the proper structure. It was just an absolute shit show. Hey, I appreciate that, Bernie. Thanks. I appreciate it. That's my homie from around the way. Yeah. It's also rumored that Tiffany rigs the bingo game. Now, that is actually more likely. Like, I don't think it's a good vehicle to launder money, but it's a good way to disguise a kickback. Like, you can disguise a quid pro quo, this for that. Like, okay, I'll do some. I'm just this is an example. I'm not saying this is what she did, but hey, I'll do something for you. I'll sign off on this so you can make this purchase. But in exchange for that, I'm gonna send Meemaw down to big bingo night on Wednesday. And when she go down there to big bingo night on Wednesday, I'm gonna need something in the price range of 3,000 to $4,000. Refrigerator, Samsung with the tablet and the screen, maybe something like that. Maybe a nice curved TV that costs about 5 or 6 racks. Like that could be a good mechanism for kickbacks. That's crazy as hell if you're rigging the bingo games. Like if you're rigging the bingo games though, oh man, that's fucked up. I can't. I don't even want to go there. But if you actually rigging the bingo games, that is crazy. That's crazy as hell. Yeah. When you're greedy, what can I say? It makes sense if you're greedy. Yeah, rigging the bingo games is absolutely wild. Had to ask how high, like like she is so dumb, attempting something even dumber. Hey, I agree. And hey, it's no such thing as a dumb question. So you always got to ask. And it could have been a bad attempt to launder money or prizes, but more likely, if a bad guy were using bingo, they would probably use it to just kind of disguise a kickback. Where I'm not giving it to you directly. What you doing? Stop! Come here. This damn dog. I'm gonna kick him in his neck. Stop! I'm not gonna kick him in his neck. I make a bunch of empty threats. Don't get me, Peter. Leave that alone. He's sitting here. He'll find. He won't bite the typical stuff like shoes, but he'll find some obscure object just to bite. How is Thornton funded? So taxpayers pay city, township, county, state, federal. That's a lot of taxes. I'm confused. And that's a fair point because the last live I did when we were talking about the deficit, some of the comments were construing the Thornton deficit with the Thornton deficit. It's just so much. I'll look into how Thornton Township is funded, and I'm it's a weird dynamic. I'll do maybe a short video where we just break down this is the township of Thornton. This is what it covers. It covers this particular geographical area. So we can kind of wrap our mind around what responsibilities does the township actually have. How many prizes or cards were not giving out during bingo? And that's fair. A lot of them, a lot of that stuff were probably given out just cause. Hey, I appreciate it, Mal. Hey, I appreciate it, sis. Thank you, thank you. Is this the worst time of the year? Fiscal year about to end, so a brother working. I bet you're right on the kickback, especially with the rigging allegation. Yeah, I think that's probably that would make more sense, and that would be the you better not touch that thing. This dog is annoying. That would be the, I mean, anything about this, it hasn't been done smartly on her side. But if you were going to use bingo, I would use it as a kickback vehicle as opposed to a money laundering thing. I think the laundering attempt was probably done with the organization, and it just was a colossal fail, or some business venture or something like that. But hey, that's it. I don't want to be on too long with this video. I wanted to make this one real short because I need to take this suit off and go relax. But hey, I appreciate y'all for tuning in, for giving me a few minutes of y'all time to just talk about some things. Friday is going to be a dope show because we're going to pivot more on the finance side of the game. I used to have guests on all the time, like every other Friday, twice a month, but I haven't. But this is going to be the first guest I had on in probably a year. It's going to be my guy before the billions. He's a young brother who's an engineer, and I don't want to give away all the good content and the discussion, but check out his channel at Before the Billions on YouTube. Has a journey that he's going on, one that I've been on a couple of times in the past 3 or 4 years, and we're going to talk about it on the finance side of the game, preparing for things, how to make some moves, and we're going to do a little discussion on some random current events that I think will be a little bit fun. So I definitely appreciate y'all. Again, I'm grateful. I'm thankful. Y'all be safe and be blessed and have a good night. Peace.